Okay, with Spider-Man No Way Home about to come out, like a month or so from this recording, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in that movie. Here's hoping to have Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield come back. But the real thing I was curious about is I thought about this, about the whole legal battle between Disney and Sony over who gets to make Spider-Man movies that only seems to settle, then comes and flares back up. So I have a theory of what's gonna happen in that movie. What I think is very likely to happen is that Spider-Man will die in the movie at some point. I mean, Tobey Maguire's, Tom Holland's Spider-Man will die at some point in the movie, probably towards the end. So that way, Disney's MCU movies can get away with writing Spider-Man out of the universe without having to worry about, why he just disappear. And personally, I think it might come at the hands of Doctor Strange, or at least the Sinister Six. Because, in case you didn't notice, the MCU follows a lot of stuff that happens in the Ultimate Comics sometimes, like Nick Fury and a lot of other things. Even the uniforms sometimes match up pretty closely. So my theory is that they're going to follow that storyline where Peter Parker finally dies, or not really finally, because I don't really want him to die, but I think they're going to do that. They're going to give him a whole send-off, he'll die, and then they'll be done with it. And I just think it's what they're going to do, personally. I don't really want it to happen, but I just have a high suspicion it's going to happen. And I just want to write this down and put it on the internet, because quite frankly, I had a very right theory once before, where I predicted around the time of Age of Ultron to that Captain America's story would end with him going back in time to live out his life. Of course, my theory generally proposed that also he would take Bucky with him, but, that doesn't pan out. But since I didn't put it on the internet, no one knows I was right, and no one will believe me, so I'm just going to put this here to make sure it's right. Anyway, that's my theory. If it gets to be right, well, then who knows, maybe I'll be right. I don't know why, I just think it's very likely to see this will happen. And if the legal battle does end at some point, they can have, Miles Morales then take over as Spider-Man. Although I still really don't want Spider-Man to die. Please don't let Peter Parker die. Anyway, see you later. Oh, and we really need to have the scene where Peter Parker, the one from the MCU, meets the characters from Into the Spider-Verse. The characters in the Spider-Verse are still animated, but he's still live action. That'd be hilarious. Yeah? Hey, why don't you hit that sub button? You're gonna become a subscribble. Get to see my content quicker. Wouldn't that be nice? I bet so.